Hello and welcome to Unexplained Arkansas. This is Amber.
And this is Lisa.
Oh gosh,
that was dramatic.
I was supposed to say that was extra, even extra for you, extra. So
I know because of what I'm wearing on my head.
I know. So. I can't quit staring at it. I mean, it looks like you're wearing bunny ears. What is that again? A head towel?
It's like it's like a hair. Well, what would you call it? I don't know. It's like a spa headband.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm totally getting you one before we go on our adventure to the Arlington, our meet and greet time. Anyway, moving forward. So,
well, cool.
Okay. I forget we're on air. So, are you ready to get started?
Yes, I'm just watching my cat and she is putting her little paws around the computer like she's trying to turn it off. I'm going to send you a picture of that.
Oh, she probably is. She's probably like, I hate you.
Yes, I think she secretly hates me. Yeah. All right. So today is episode 43.
43.
And, yes, I'm so excited. 43. Yes. 43. So what is this episode called? Because this is all you. This is your episode.
Yes. This is called The Haunted Kellers Chapel Cemetery in Jonesboro.
Yes. I like that. Haunted chapel cemetery. Yeah, it sounds really legit.
Yes, it really is. And I think that you'll appreciate this and enjoy this one.
Cool.
Since you're totally in the dark on this one. So
yes, because I didn't go with you. I wanted to, but I had a sick kiddo today, so I had to take him to the doctor.
Yes. Yeah. So no adventure for us jointly today, but
yes,
we will ride again.
You took your junior adventurer, Elle.
I know she did. If you mention lunch and Dillard, she'll do anything.
That's why I wanted to go. Anyway,
it was fun. So we will talk about it. So yeah. So we don't have any Patreons to mention this time, but we will roll into the episode and do some business at the end because there's some excitement.
Okay.
Headed
yes,
their way.
There is some excitement. There is. I'm excited.
Yes.
All right. So what you got?
Okay. So today's episode will cover the haunted tales of Keller's Chapel. But first, we will discuss the location. So Keller's Chapel and Cemetery is located at 2401 Kellers Chapel Road in Jonesboro. And this is according to most websites, the Kellers family, I guess, settled in the Jonesboro, Craighead County area in the 1850s.
Oh, okay.
That's a long time ago.
That is.
It is. So Jonesboro is located in Craighead County in the northeast portion of our state. For those that just, are listening from abroad. It's hey,
all five of you. No, I'm kidding.
I know. You jest, but we have like 30 something countries listening or have listened. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Jonesboro is about 70 miles from Memphis and about 85 miles from where we live here in Searcy. And Jonesboro is located on what's called Crowley's Ridge, which is a geological formation that rises.
I called it Crowley's. Am I mispronouncing that?
I don't know. I call it Crowley. Crowley's. Crowley.
I don't know. I'm sure someone will correct us. I should ask my husband. He lived in Jonesboro. He went to school there.
Yeah, I did too, but I call it Crowley's Ridge. Or Crowley's Ridge. I don't know. Either way. But it is a geological formation that rises 250 to 550 feet above the alluvial plain of the Mississippi embayment. So isn't that really interesting? I thought that was.
The alluvial plain?
Yeah, it says the alluvial. It said the alluvial plain of the Mississippi embayment. So that's what it said. So the city of Jonesboro was actually incorporated in 1859, and it only had 150 people. Currently, I did check out the current population. I can hear your phone, lady.
I'm looking up alluvial plain, and it's
okay. Does it say alluvial plain?
Yes.
Okay. Well, alluvial plain. So, yes. This is what it said. So, anywho, I was really shocked by the current population of Jonesboro. They have 78,000 people
Good
as
grief.
of 2020.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
I was thinking in my head around 50,000, but they have grown so much since, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they've
So,
grown in Conway. Both of those
yeah,
cities have grown
yes.
so much. I remember when we were in
Mhm.
college and you were at Jonesboro, and the city didn't seem that big 20
No,
years
it
ago,
really
25 years ago.
No, it really didn't. So I was shocked. I just didn't realize how large it was.
Yeah.
And for us here in Jonesboro is known for housing the public college of Arkansas State University. And like we talked about, that's where Scott went. And that's where I blew a full paid ride in the fall.
I didn't know if you were going to go there or not.
I'm going there in the fall of 1999.
I didn't blow my ride till sophomore year, but then mine was gone too.
I just, my mom talked about that so I'll just tell them. So I'm a very good tester. I had a very good ACT score, but I can earnestly say I was not a good studier. And I will tell anybody, it is so much better to be a good student and good at studying than be a good tester.
Yeah, well, I will tell you that as a professor, that is the most true thing. Like every time I'll have, I'll tell my students, you can test all day, but if you don't have study skills, then you're in trouble. So
yes, and I had trouble showing up for class, but I will say
I do remember that.
I really enjoyed myself. I spent a year at Jonesboro, and my poor parents had to pay for, that. So moving forward, it worked out for me because I came back home. I did the grade replacement. So I had to replace all those grades that I didn't show up for. And I met my Daryl when I was retaking biology. And so there you go. It all worked out. It all worked out. And we won't discuss how Amber was supposed to go with us to Jonesboro. And at the last minute,
I had a roommate, and 3 weeks before, I was like,
nope, I'm just gonna not do that. But for me, I will say the best part of Jonesboro at that time was the mall and the Perkins, which are both not there. The Indian Mall, it was called the Indian Mall.
Yeah, remember we'd go to the music store? I remember we went and you bought Dixie Chicks Fly one time. I remember going there. And you got the top of your ear pierced that same mall trip.
Yes, I got my cartilage pierced, and my mother was so upset with me.
Hey, wasn't it like I was going to do it too, and then you did it and I backed out?
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
I was going to say, that sounds accurate.
That sounds positively accurate. But now I'm so sad that the Perkins, when I went there today, I was like asking my friend Julie, I got to eat lunch with Julie, and she was like, the Perkins has been gone for a while. And I'm like, I'm so sad. But that's where all the college kids hung out in 1999 when I wasn't going to class. So anywho, moving forward. So I personally have never heard of Keller's Chapel or cemetery, but while we were on vacation in Florida last week, we met the loveliest couple. So shout out to Matt and Tamara B, who they mentioned this place. They mentioned the Keller's Chapel as being haunted because they were from Jonesboro. We met them in Florida. And then they mentioned a couple of other places in Jonesboro, which we will hit in later episodes. So stay tuned for more hauntings of Jonesboro. So anyway, very interesting town. So So Keller's Chapel has roughly 1,200 interments. That's what they call them, evidently. And 75 of those 1,200 are named Keller. Like when I went today, there was Keller. I mean, that was everywhere. So many pioneer settlers are buried there, and there are veterans from all the wars, the Civil War, the Spanish American, both World Wars, Korean, Vietnam, all the conflicts and such. The earliest buried in the cemetery is right around 1859, which is about the time that the Kellers came to Jonesboro.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that's the time that Jonesboro was incorporated. So maybe they were one of the original 150, inhabitants.
Wow.
Who knows? The oldest person to be buried in the cemetery is a man named William Murphy Loudermilk.
What?
Yes.
Loudermilk? Isn't there a show
heard
called that?
There
is a show. There's a show called that. But keep going. Keep going.
Is it called William Murphy Loudermilk?
No, it's called Loudermilk.
That's interesting. But yeah, his name was Loudermilk, and he lived to be 104.
Holy crap.
104. That's a really long time. There is a plaque located in the cemetery, which I'll post on our... Oh, yeah. There's
Loudermilk. Starring that guy I don't like. It's Post-it guy from Sex and the City.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I will post the picture on our Facebook page after the episode is actually uploaded. But the plaque states that Loudermilk was the last Confederate veteran living in Arkansas. And
really?
And that plaque outlines his birthday and his information about his service and such. And then it mentions his wife and that they lived in Craighead County and they started a farm. Yes. And if you've ever been to Craighead County, it is a lot of farmland. It is
it's tons of farmland.
It's like nothing between us.
I hate
and
to
them,
say it, but it's a really boring drive. I mean,
it is a very boring drive.
That sounds so bad, and I'm so sorry, guys, but it's not my favorite drive. I used to make that drive a lot because my husband's parents lived there before they passed away, so we would go that way all the time.
And you made that drive when you weren't with us in Jonesboro.
Oh, yeah, I made that drive all the time to go visit you guys because I was bored.
And to come party.
Yeah.
Not that I did that. Oh, wait. Yes, I did. Okay. So, anywho, yes. So, that talks about farming. So, the legend goes. Do you want to hear the legend of the Kellers Chapel? So, the legend goes that when you knock on the chapel doors, an apparition will knock back from inside the chapel. And also that when people turn off their vehicles to tour the chapel, their vehicle will not start again for several hours, leaving them trapped to wander the chapel and graveyard.
Ew.
Yes, this is the legend. It is creepy. And according to an article in the Herald from 2020, so this is very recent. So it says that people say they see strange apparitions moving around the cemetery and that they also hear sounds of babies crying.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes, that is sad. And I will say that babies crying seems to be just something that is described kind of over and over when you research and read about Keller's cemetery. And we'll kind of elaborate more on that. But there is a whole website that I found for Arkansas haunted houses, and Keller's Chapel makes the list. And on it, people can, basically they ask for people to leave their personal stories and personal experiences. And there were literally 15 plus personal stories listed on this website. Like there were tons. And
oh wow.
I'll kind of dive into a couple of the most interesting ones and then kind of summarize the rest. I was going to and talk about one, and then I read the whole thing and I was like, OMG, this is hilarious. But it was clearly someone just being a jokester, but it was so funny. Anywho, I'll send it to you. It was funny. But yeah, go to Arkansas Haunted Houses and yeah, you will see a most hilarious of stories. But I will read this. So the first story that I thought was interesting enough was called The Mysterious Man, and it was posted in 2020, but they don't have any name listed as far as the person that posted it. So, but this was really interesting. So it said, it was a hot July night when I visited Keller's Chapel Cemetery, but not for the same purpose as many visitors. I was there to visit my two great-grandparents who were buried there. My great-grandpa was a veteran. His birthday was July 4th. I've always tried to make it a point to visit his grave on his birthday. I was busy that day, so it wasn't until later that night, around 11, when I went out there. When I got there, I exited my car and sat by his tombstone, and I got this eerie feeling that I was being watched. But
Ew, I hate that feeling.
I hate that. But I just kind of brushed it off, convinced that I was alarmed only because I was in the cemetery late at night by myself. So I gazed to my left to reassure myself, and I saw a very suspicious man in the far distance. He seemed to be dressed in dark clothing. I was very spooked and immediately got back in my car. Like, heck yeah. I turned my back for a split second and the dark figure was gone.
Like dark clothing, like Johnny Cash, like a priest. I mean, you got to be more specific.
That's what, hey, I did not write this.
Or, Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, there are so many different
Lisa.
Looks. Yeah, you wear a lot of black too.
I wear black.
I'm just thinking of people that wear a lot of black. You do. You have two colors, black and pink. But go ahead.
Black and pink. But I'm not one to believe in ghosts. But after how spooked I was, I came to the conclusion that it was someone just trying to scare me or someone in the cemetery up to no good. So I drove around the entire cemetery, the parts that were drivable, and there was no man to be seen.
Ew.
I thought it was eerie since this day, and I've never gone back alone. True.
I don't think I would go back alone either.
Yeah. So I'm with her or him, but I'm like, no. And to go at 11, I mean, I know like that is devotion.
Yes. Oh gosh, we do that stuff too. So I guess they're devoted like we are. So.
I guess. So this was another very interesting, scary. I see your cat.
Sorry.
Scary happy.
Yeah. The scary cat butt. Sorry. Get away. What is our problem tonight? Go ahead.
She's just wanting to look at you. But okay, so another interesting story, and this one was also posted in 2020, and it was titled a scary I've never had haunted place make me feel mortified. That's what it was called. That was the title on this one. So me and a couple friends recently read about this place after we found an app called Randautica. I don't know this app. It leads you to unexplained places. All of my friends thought it was a good idea to check out Keller's Chapel. At first, we were too scared to go in, so we just kind of recorded the chapel while we drove past. Okay, so yeah, sorry. While we drove, and when driving exactly by it, was me and my boyfriend's face lit up with a fever, and we couldn't.
What? A fever?
A fever.
Cowbell next.
I got a fever that only cowbell can. Amber, this is serious.
I'm just very tickled right now.
Okay. I think your cat
is stalking me, and then you're talking about I got a fever.
I got a fever. Okay. So she said, this is very serious. So she said, okay, so when they were driving by, her and her boyfriend's face lit up with a fever and they couldn't breathe. Negative energy.
That is scary.
That's really scary. So a negative energy was weighing on us, and I felt almost as if I was drunk, like nauseous and flushed. I decided to say a prayer before coming home and to tell whatever it wasn't welcomed. I was wearing my cross earrings at that time. Weeks later, when I wasn't wearing the earrings, my friends wanted to go back into the cemetery. They drove around it at 10:50 p.m. Oh, that time again. While me and my best friend waited in the car next to the electrical work behind it. I don't know. We heard that parking in front of the chapel turns your car off. Not only 8 minutes passed and I could feel something shoving my side of the car, but the wind wasn't strong enough to use such direct force like that. I couldn't move and I was mortified at what just happened. So I took off. I guess she left her friends. I took off. This is hilarious. I took off and drove to the church past the stoplight until I could calm down. When I came back, my friend was ready to go. Wow.
When I came back, my friend was gone.
My friend was gone. Yeah. My friend was gone. They started, I guess the friend said they stated they didn't feel or see anything. They said it was very peaceful out there. They even went to the cemetery behind the chapel where the Keller family and 9 children were buried. I know. I was out of it that day and tried to brush it off. I spoke to my friend who is a witch, yes, about it.
I'm not. There's nothing wrong with being a witch if that's what if that's your choice. I just wasn't expecting that.
I know, me neither. Because I was thinking, we call each other, witches, or but we don't mean it like
we called each other heifers.
Whatever. I never call you a witch. Whatever. You're being a witch. Your cat's being a witch. But anyway, so she talked to her friend who was a witch and showed her the video she took so you could see several orbs dashing across her screen. Not only so, but there were also 2 glitches in the video that she couldn't explain.
We know about glitches, remember? We had a glitch Sunday.
We sure did. So go look at those pictures on the Facebook, people. This says, my witchy friend told me. I know.
I want you to start calling me that, your witchy friend. I don't
my witchy friend Amber.
Any kind of Wiccan, but just if you just say my witchy, or you can add a B. I'm okay with that too.
You're okay with that too? Okay. I might. So my witchy friend told me it's because the energy from the ghost is trying to show me something. Ooh. She's going. So her friend said she was going to get me some sage, and ever since then I've had bad luck. Cars broken down. I cannot sleep. Unexplained noises around me, and just
sounds like she got a hitchhiker.
I know. And listen to this. This gets wild. And just recently witnessed someone get hit by a truck going 50 miles per hour.
Good grief.
Yes, she said, I was the last person to speak to him before taking his order at the Wendy's before he got ran over.
What?
Yes, this is what it says.
Oh my God. I'm not laughing, but what?
I know, that's awful. That is
his
awful.
Last meal was that's awful.
But this is very detailed.
This is a lot. This is a lot.
This is a lot. I did an egg cleansing as well.
What the crap?
I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
I'm Googling it.
Please Google that. And found that my egg came out with strings and an evil eye, which means something is out to get me.
Okay, so here is an egg cleanse. Okay, so cleaning the egg rids it of any negative energy it might have already collected. What? Okay, egg cleanses
literal.
Okay, no. Egg cleanses are an absolutely powerful way to remove evil eye. Just ask around. It is believed that the egg is a capsule that absorbs negative energy from the body and aura. This is why the egg is rubbed all over the body while performing the actual ritual and worked over specific areas of ailment.
Oh, interesting. That is very interesting. So then she goes on to say, thank you and protect yourself before going into the church. I don't think you're messing with spirits. I feel it's more evil than that. So she's
you always ask me why I'm always like, okay, so I totally believe in demons, but I don't believe in ghosts. This is why, because that just sounds totally demonorific or whatever. That's all demified. Are those words? Did I make those up?
I think you made that up. So thank you. She's giving up kind of a whole spiel there. So
that's like a short story of like the worst experience ever.
It was. And there was another one about a medium, and the medium, she was a medium, and she said to not go out there. There was one of the 15.
You just la-di-da went down there.
I did. I was like, nah, I'm good. So in another spot on the internet, under like a Reddit's about Jonesboro, that it was posted about 4 years ago, a person named Fortunate Son 101 said that since...
Must be a CCR thing.
Yes. Maybe. He said, since my last post, we have moved and settled in and absolutely love Jonesboro, trying to learn as much as I can about the area and would love to hear any ghost stories, haunts, or urban legends Jonesboro has to offer or surrounding area. So a person, named Easy Breezy Bleezy.
I thought you were going to say beautiful cover girl.
No, I know.
You've got to quit reading their names. I can't take it.
This is hilarious. They came back and said Keller's Chapel. I've always heard a guy started a satanic church and people go together to burn it down with him. And it's still smoldering to this day. The smoldering remains is the entrance. You go through the woods and eventually you pass through the 7 gates leading to hell.
What?
Yes, okay. This is what
I am very sure. I'm very sure that me going there or not going there was a really good choice for me today.
Did you feel okay? So this is quite interesting. I guess another person had, other than Easy Breezy, had kind
beautiful
of
cover girl. Sorry.
They had. Yeah, it doesn't really say their name here, or maybe it's cut off, or I don't know. But anyway, it talks about how there was a cable cord was put up to prevent vehicles and people from going further. But when he was a kid, we would just step over the cable and keep walking. We walked about 30 minutes before we got to what looked like a huge, wide pile of rubble. So this is near the cemetery, I guess. Sticks, boards, dirt, powdery, ash-looking stuff. And now the weird thing was the whole area had smoke coming from this rubble. No heat, no light, no source at all for the smoke other than from this pile of rubble. We started hearing things around us, like multiple steps of people from all around in front of us. And I thought I could hear voices talking really low, like not a whisper, but just above the loudness of a whisper. At that point, we decided it was time to run. And as we run as fast as we could back the way we came, we all remember to this day hearing sounds from behind us as if we were being chased. And I remember looking behind me as I ran and seeing multiple someones or something in the moonlight, just a lot of dark shapes chasing us. I could hear the sound of them moving through the woods chasing us, but the voices I could hear, that was the scariest part for me. The voices stayed the same loudness the whole time, but it just seemed like the voices were chasing us as well and had overtaken us, surrounding us from all directions. Ooh, good grief. We made it back to the cable that we had jumped over and ran into someone's front yard before we all crashed to the ground trying to just breathe. We had been running so hard. I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart was beating so hard. We never went back again. I think I drove that same route the other day, and they have now built a subdivision there. And I can say it looks like there's a neighborhood that's developed, and from what I could find,
was it developed by Craig T. Nelson? Just asking.
I thought that was a serious question at first, and then I realized that was not. I have no words for that. Anywho, are we delirious?
I think so.
But it looks like it was a bunch of acreage at one time, like 19 acres or at minimum that the Kellers had owned. And that, like, what's left now is not, and everything around it looks like they sold.
Didn't just only move the headstones?
I have no idea, but I hope not, for the sake of all the developments around the cemetery. Because if you go there, like literally on all 3 sides of the cemetery are houses, and we'll get into that too. I have a little tidbit there, but so this person said, "Thank you for the information." That's how they ended it. And then someone, Fit Savings 6653, says, "No way, really? where? I live in Jonesboro. I'm super interested in some ghost hunting. The scarier the backstory, the better. Let me know, bro. TY. And it does say, evidently, that road that he was talking about that led to that 7 gates of hell, evidently, that, yeah.
I really feel like my house was one of the levels of hell tonight with my kid having a stomach bug.
Oh my gosh. Probably. That's terrible. Poor Max. That poor baby. It says the road now has a subdivision and is extremely developed. This was by Lil Rascal 99. So I love these names.
This is just Spanky or Alfalfa.
It was one of them. So anywho, moving forward. So those were very fun and scary story, and I'm saying like 15 stories, and really all of the stories had similar interactions, but they also happened at night. But anyway, so like I said before, the consensus is that people see the dark figures and they hear the babies crying. And they get an overall feeling of an evil presence.
Yeah. And now, they can't breathe, apparently.
And they can't breathe. They feel like they're having heart attacks because they're running out of the 7th gate of hell. There's all kinds of stuff happening.
Well, I will tell you this about the breathing thing. This has only happened to me one time. And everybody asks me, are we ever scared when we go on our little adventures? Most usually no. This was a situation where I was just visiting a person who had bought a home that was over 100 years old. It was huge. And I had some kind of, I don't know what it was. It was almost like an asthma attack. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And so, of course, that led to a panic attack. And I had to leave. And I got in my husband's truck and I just suddenly, eventually I could breathe again. And I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I'm never going back in there again. And I never did. She ended up selling the house. But it was the closest thing. I can relate. I laugh about these situations, but that was probably the closest. And supposedly there was a ghost in that house. Yeah. Supposedly. Allegedly. But I don't know. It could I don't know. Maybe it was just a coincidence.
That's very interesting.
But I had to leave. Could not breathe till I got out of there. Yeah.
And now you feel like you can't breathe because you're being smothered by boys.
Yes. And a cat that won't leave me alone tonight.
There you go. Okay. So, yes. So now most of these stories posted and from what I've heard of the stories, they all happen at night. So, obviously today, I went to check it out and I will say, right from the beginning of pulling in, and it was a cloudy day. It was kind of like a little spooky day, I guess, this morning. It was very cloudy. It kind of drizzled on the way. So we pull into the parking lot and up to the chapel, because the chapel's right there. And there was a vibe. And I will say there were blackbirds everywhere.
Really?
All around the cemetery.
I have a thing with birds. That's one of my weird superstitions is about birds. Yeah. So that would have freaked me out.
You would have been super freaked out because I was like, and in fact, I think I said to Elle, because Elle was with me, and I said, "What's up with all the birds?" I was like, they were everywhere. And they were, how the blackbirds do. They're like, what do they do? Like call, they scream at you or something. I don't know. But there was also the air was just really thick. It was thick and it was not muggy, but just a thick, creepy vibe. And, the blackbirds. So, and like I said, Elle came with me, and I kind of asked her, I was like, do you get a vibe? When we were leaving, she's like, yeah, this place is creepy. So I think she was ready to go to Seven Brew. She's like, let's go to Seven Brew.
She's ready to go to the mall or wherever.
Yeah, she was ready for coffee. So I did film myself, and you saw it already, knocking on the chapel door, because I was like, I'm going to knock, I'm going to do all the things. I pulled my car up. In fact, we drove her car. I turned it off to see if it would start back up. It did. And I knocked on the chapel door. So the chapel door is covered by this thick metal door that is like it padlocked, and you'll see that in the video. And we did I kind of pulled on it just to see if it would open, just to make sure it wasn't like available for entry. And then Elle was like, "You're not pulling hard enough." So her little tiny arms decides to pull, like she's going to, do something. So anyway, nothing knocked back. Okay. So,
that's good.
Yes. So I did not experience anything like that, but that place was very locked up. And we did walk around the entire, like you could tell that the place had been a church, had been a chapel. It had, it was one of those box-like churches. So it kind of had the front door, and then it had the windows on the side, and then it had, back windows and like a back door. Well, every single window and the back door, they weren't just covered. They were like cemented in.
So like
filled in.
So are they trying to keep something out of there? Or are they trying to, are they trying to keep something in? Dun, dun, dun. That should be our tagline.
That's my question.
That's what we should put on our Facebook post. Are they trying to keep something in, or are they trying to keep people out?
I mean, exactly. Like, seriously, like.
That is freaky.
I mean, we're talking.
I think we need to do the egg cleanse with you. I'll bring over some eggs here in a little bit.
I'm like freaky with eggs because even when I'm like cooking, like I spray, like I keep the cleanser that I use is just like a white vinegar and water mix in my kitchen. And I will just spray everything down. Like I am so scared of, what is it? Salmonella.
And you're not scared of demons?
No, salmonella.
Well, I tell you what, my best friend from Portland will be here next week, and she always brings me sage from up there, and so I'll share some with you, and you can just, sage it up.
Are you going to sage me?
Yeah.
Well, so this place, this chapel has 0 entry. I mean, lockdown, and like you said, why? Like, why was it filled in? Like, why? Like, my question seriously is like, why wouldn't you just tear the place down or just lock the doors so at least you could future use it? I mean, they're filled in, like bricked or cemented, like sealed. So nobody wanted in. Like, they don't want to use this place again. But what's in there?
That is, oh my gosh, Lisa.
I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah,
like
you totally found something really cool. Like I've never heard of that. I'm going to ask my husband because, he lived there for years. He went to college there. And I wonder if he's in a fraternity and, they do stupid stuff all the time. So I wonder if they ever went there. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah. Ask him if they ever went there. Now, okay. So we did. So I'm going to finish this bit up and then tell you about something else. So remind me, my friend Julie. Okay. So we did, turn off the car and we took I took pictures. We walked around the car and it started back. No problems. There was nothing happened. It was creepy. It is very interesting place. I would totally go back. Now I will say, obviously, had I been there at night, and who knows, but that, if it was creepy during the daytime hour and, we spent maybe 30 minutes there, I cannot even imagine going at night. Like, unless we take a big crew of us unexplained Arkansas people, I'm not going.
No. I was just going to say, just from the description tonight, listening to you, I don't want to go there. I mean, it just sounds, we went Sunday to the garden place, and that was all fun until we found a ghost there, but this just sounds creepy to the max. So.
I mean, it was creepy, and I cannot even imagine going at night. Like, seriously, like, cannot. Okay, so lastly, there was a video clip of a K8 news story, and they called I guess they were doing a whole line of stories called Our Haunt, like Arkansas haunt. I don't know. Our haunt.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is interesting. So the news reporter was Amani Williams, and she went to investigate this haunted story of the Kellers Chapel. So she mentioned that she spoke to all the neighbors that live around. So this was pretty recent. I want to say in like 21. So she went to talk to all the neighbors, and all of the neighbors that she spoke to said they hear the sounds of babies crying in the night.
No.
So again, that is like a thing, evidently. So, I mean, you hear crying baby like all the time. So you're just
say, I hear, yeah, I hear that constantly.
I mean, Max. But then she also spoke to Ray Keller, whom is a 4th generation Keller there in Jonesboro. So namesake. And when he was asked about the hauntings, like what he thought about all of the stories and such, he just mentioned that it was due to people being afraid of the unknown, which is death. And he mentioned that curiosity is good, but just to keep the cemetery in good repair, and that he, did not want people coming in and desecrating or tearing up the monuments. And evidently they have had a tough time with that due to the Confederate, sign out there. There were several stories that it had been covered in graffiti and such, but other thing, how people do, sometimes even public parks, public areas. So he was more concerned with people coming out, not taking care of the cemetery. But I would love to, if anyone knows Ray Keller and could get us into that building, let me know in the daytime hours.
I was fixing to say, I'm not going there at night. I will say it like a million times. I am not going there. I'm getting really bad vibes with just hearing about it. I was on the fence because I really wanted. I really wanted to go with y'all, today and have like a girls' day.
I wanted you to.
Yeah, but now I'm glad I didn't because I think I would have ruined it for everybody. I would have been like, heck no. So
you would have been like, let's go get 7 Brew. Well, I went, so one of my favorite people, Julie, lives in Jonesboro. So she did meet us for lunch, and I'm going to plug Chef's Inn. So we went to eat at Chef's Inn, and when I told Daryl we were going to Jonesboro, he was like, you've got to eat at Chef's Inn. It's like country buffet eating.
I love buffets.
Yes. You love buffets and you love country eating. Like you would, it's your heaven. It is your heaven. So anyway.
Now, I don't like Golden Corral. I'm more of a Western sizzling girl. I like old 90s country buffets.
Oh gosh. You would have in this place, I will say they have like 3 different dining rooms. Like they had this whole block downtown. They're downtown Jonesboro. It was so good, and it was filled to the max. Like it is popular. Now Elle, when we walked in, she goes, Mom, there's just old people in here.
It sounds like Ryan's. Remember when we would go to Ryan's all the time? Oh
gosh. You wore us out on
Ryan's.
Oh my gosh. I used to remember Bonanza before Colton's. Now, I liked Bonanza.
I loved Bonanza too. Bonanza had like the cheese that you could like take the little thing and you could it was like a little knifey thingy that you could scrape the cheese off the wheel and then put it on your plate. And then I remember that vividly. So and they had the best meatballs at Bonanza. So they should bring Bonanza back. It was a sad day in Searcy when Bonanza left.
Yeah, and then the Colton's came. The Colton's was good too, but if they could have kept both,
okay. But anyway, I will tell you this: when I was pregnant with Max, I couldn't eat anything. I've told you this. I was very, very ill, very sick until I was about 6 months along, and I couldn't eat, and I lost lots of weight. But when I could eat, all I wanted to eat was Western sizzling, the chopped steak with the potato, and then the full salad bar. And Scott thought I had lost my mind because
he's like really.
It's like every time we went out, that's what I wanted. Or I wanted him to go get Western sizzling to go, which I didn't think was a thing.
Is it a thing? I will say this Chef's Inn, you can call them and they'll make you a plate. So they were making a plate, and evidently they deliver. According to Julie said that. So anywho, but Julie had asked her mother, because they've lived there for, she's lived there all her life. So she was asking her mom about this Keller's Chapel, and her mom was like, yeah, I don't know anything about that. She was shocked. But Julie, when she was in high school there in Jonesboro, she would always hear how haunted it was. And she said that she was a scaredy cat and she wouldn't go. She refused to go.
Julie's smart. I've only met her once, but she's smart.
And she's a smart cookie. So I just shout out to Julie and to chefs. Yeah.
I want to go there now. I want to go back, not to this place, but I want to go to the buffet. Yeah.
And then me and Elle did spend a lot of time at the Dillards. And they do have the best Dillards in Arkansas, I will say. Maybe a whole state. I don't know. But it's a very nice Dillards. They used to have a
Dillards outlet like 20 years ago, remember?
Really?
Yeah, or something like that. It was some weird something like that we'd go to. Yeah.
Ooh,
but yeah, it sounds like you had a great time without me. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was a great time, but we missed you. And Julie asked where you were too, so she missed you too. So anyway, to wrap that up, Kellers Cemetery, is it haunted? I would say the signs point to
It's given me the heebie-jeebies just hearing about it. Seriously. I don't I don't usually say this, but the hairs on my arms are standing up. This was a good one, Lisa. I really feel like we need to egg you down. So
egg me, sage me, whatever.
Yeah. Don't come over here for a while. I know you got the t-shirts in, but don't come over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pod business. We got the t-shirts and Daryl put it on to model. So, we are not ready right this second because of the website, but we are so close, guys. We are so close. So I would say within a week we'll be ready to take orders and ship. So
I really thought that
please be patient with us.
Yeah.
This is going to be trial and error. So
I really thought you or Daryl would come down here to my house and bring me one, especially after my Conway Twitty t-shirt incident. Like seriously, I thought my Conway Twitty shirt had came in. There was a package at my door and I opened it. I was so excited. And it was swimsuits for the neighbors. It went to the wrong house. And I was just like, seriously? I've been waiting on this Conway Twitty shirt for weeks. It is going to be so epic.
Said no one ever.
Hey, Conway Twitty, I love him. I loved him. So he's a, true country legend.
Well, I'm going to see you tomorrow. So we'll talk about that. But yes, we are so thrilled about the shirts and please join our Patreon to hear Scary Heifers. So we'll wrap up. So Scary Heifers you get bonus episodes if you pay $1 a tier. The $1 tier gets you all of the good stuff on most of the good stuff on our Patreon. So go check out the Patreon. Mail us if you want a shout out. Send us a postcard. It's P.O. Box 120, Searcy, Arkansas 72145. And then also Instagram and Facebook. And please go on YouTube, guys. We had a massive YouTube following at first, and now it's kind of dropped off a little bit. So go follow us and listen on the YouTube and all that good stuff, So and
definitely.
We're still pumping them out. Like and talk about the meet and greet.
We have a meet and greet at Black Ribbon Books in Hot Springs. And Black Ribbon Books is located in the basement area of the Arlington. It is so cool. And a lot of people don't know it's there.
The coolest.
Yes. And I will give a shout out to the store next door, which is an old record store. And there are thousands of records. There are 8 tracks. There are tapes. There are posters. It's really a
T-shirts.
cool deal. T-shirts. Yeah. T-shirts, all
very
kinds of
cool.
thing. Yeah.
It's not my bag, but
it's very cool. You went in, stayed 3 minutes, and then went out. So, and I was like, okay.
I'm good. Like, I'm not, I don't wear t-shirts.
Well, the first time I went in, I stayed for like an hour. The first time I visited, and then this time we were kind of in a hurry. But it's a cool little shop.
The one thing they didn't have obviously was books. I could have stayed in the Black Ribbon Books forever, but I'm a book gal. But anyway, so and me and Amber the meet and greet 6 to 8, and we will be staying, at the Arlington that evening. So hey, you guys are, welcome to meet us, and we want to meet. Yeah, hang with us. Ghost hunt at the Arlington.
There is a ghost tour in Hot Springs downtown.
We've done it.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay.
I've done it. Me, Daryl, and Elle have done it. It's like a walking ghost tour. It's cool.
Fun. So I might do that if I'm up to it.
Me and Amber,
I don't know.
You won't be, but me and Amber will be doing some spa stuff. She promised me.
Yes, I guess.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. So that's
all right.
That's it.
All right.
Love
Well,
you guys.
Love you guys. It sounds like we'll be back again in a few days, and I'm not really sure with what yet.
Yeah, we'll tell you later.
We'll tell you later because we're at the point now we're just kind of like, we'll figure it out and then let y'all know.
I am still working on going through the case file, so I might have another episode of the Arkansas Blue Light Rapist coming in the next week or so. So
I'm going to be honest.
True story.
I'm not sure what I'm doing next week because I'm leaving for DC on Thursday. So whatever it is, it's probably going to be an unexplained short. So
there you go.
Yeah, it may be something.
Yeah, you might get like just a short next week.
Yes.
So we'll figure it out. Or 1.5. Let's say 1.5 episodes. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So,
Okie dokie. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Love you. Bye.